Okay, let's talk about setting up your classes in GoToTraining. So I have a GoToTraining app on my computer. Perhaps you don't. You can get this from the internet as well. Type in GoToTraining, log in with some Ivy Tech information, and you should be good to go. So when I open that up, you can see I have options for GoToMeeting or GoToTraining. You should too. If you do this and you only have GoToMeeting, please email me and I will get you access. But we want to go schedule training for GoToTraining. So when I do that, I'm going to title it. So I'm going to title this Math 123 CBB Spring 2018 Menning, right? Title it whatever you want. But this occurs weekly. And so the nice thing is you can set this up that it will happen every week at the same time. So my class is going to start meeting next Wednesday from 12 to 1. There's my time. The end date, I'm going to go out through the end of the semester. So we're going to go I think May 9th is my last class. We are in Indiana East. I think that's right. And you'll notice that this registration type, I like this. They register one time and then they are good for the entire semester, or at least for this piece. If you throw up some other sections, that's going to throw things off. But the nice thing is once they register the first time, they will get emails. At whatever email they put in, they're going to get reminder emails the day before, an hour before, with links of how to get to your course. So I'm going to go ahead and hit schedule, right? It does its magic. It's thinking, boom. So this training meets 17 times. I have spring break in there. So it's got my organizer, right? And here's some information. So right now I have no materials, no tests, no polls, no nothing. If I want to change any of the breakouts, any of the materials, I can edit that here. So if like week 1, if you want to talk about the syllabus, so if you have your syllabus saved in a Word file, you can edit and add that to the materials, and that will allow you to access it when you go into your actual training. You can add anything you want. So if there's the z-score table or the conversion chart, you can add any of that in here, and that will allow you to pull it up within your section. Because we use the synchronous and I share my screen, I can pull those documents up from anywhere. So for me, it's not crucial to add those in, but everybody has their own thing, right? You got to do what works for you. Now at the bottom, you're going to see where it says share and track your training. So this is the where your students are going to go to actually register, right? Because they have to register for your course or they're not going to get anything. And you can see that my students get 3 emails for every training, a week before, a day before, and an hour before. And I like that because I want them to be reminded multiple times. I also tend to email them from me of reminding them. I like to do this not the wrong button, copy the training information. And I usually just copy and paste this right into my course in multiple places. I copy and paste this into an email I send to my students. I put this in about 5 different spots, and then I hound them to make sure they register. And you can see who registers for your sessions. So here's all of your information. Now, when I go back into just my normal spot, you can see that I have this was like June 17th, 2018. Here's, it meets 17 times. I have nobody registered. As my students start registering, I will get a number there. So I will know if I have 19 students in that class, I should have at least 19 registrants. And I say at least because some students will register with their Ivy Tech email and with their Gmail, whatever, because they don't know where they're going to be. They can register with, in different spots. So sometimes I end up with 25 registrants and I only have 19 students because some of them register twice because they're trying to get in different ways. And that's great. So then when it comes time to actually have my class, right, I open this, I go to my trainings, I just hit start and it brings up the class. So you'll want to do that. You'll want to set up a training or create a training for every class that you have. You also can do this. I do some online office hours for my students, or if we do a special, before an exam, sometimes I'll do an evening review session via GoToTraining for my face-to-face classes too. You can create a training at any time, and it can be a single training. You just have to remember students have to register. So you want to make sure if you're going to do that, you get that information out to students early so they have time to register and get logged in. So that's kind of the getting started with GoToTraining.